You know, if I had a dollar every time I heard a similar story myself from one of Brad Schneider's constituents, I'd probably be able to outraise him financially, quite frankly. But I constantly hear stories of constituents reaching out to him and he being very friendly and saying, "Oh, I'll help." And then turns out he never helps. I just found out that's exactly what happened with the original case. I don't know if y'all recall from my previous video. Originally, I emailed his office aiming to have a discussion about clarifying some of his misunderstandings about him labeling Hassan Piker an anti-Semite and that Democrats should all avoid his platform because it's so toxic and terrible and stuff like that. But in between when we set up that meeting and when the meeting actually happened, I took part in the direct action to try to attempt to rescue the original dogs that are part of this torture facility. I mean, they're being devocalized, cherry eye surgery without anesthetic, left in a cage their entire life without their feet even being able to touch the ground or see the sky or smell even a single blade of grass. I mean, it's literal just fucking torture, pardon my French, but we have other scientific alternatives that are not only more humane, but also more effective. So this seemed like a really obvious win. And I remember when I met with Brad Schneider, he looked me and my own mother in the eyes and said, "You know what? I'll talk to Mark on this. I'll help him." Guess whose name isn't one of the 35 or so people that just signed on to Mark Pocan's letter to Kennedy calling for less federal funding for places like Ridgeland and for these loopholes to be shut down and to actually work to end animal testing? Brad fucking Schneider. How low of a bar do we have to set for you to go, dude? I have such low expectations for you. I do not expect you to ever oppose a genocide ever again. I don't expect you to ever say anything critical of Israel seriously ever again. I don't expect you to ever call for the abolition of ICE. I don't expect you to apologize for memorializing Charlie Kirk. I don't expect you to actually help us with the data center. I have such low bars. But you looked me in the eye and you even said that one of your dogs was taken from an infiltration. That was the word you used, which as someone who has been in both open and closed rescue is an obvious dog whistle that that dog was saved by direct action. But you're not going to even sign on to a letter. You told me you were going to talk to Representative Pocan Schneider. You told me that right in my face, and you lied to me. Why? Do you just have so much joy in seeing puppies be tortured for a lack of science? Do you just love seeing their vocal cords cut without anesthetics? Do you just love seeing their eyes bleed on the fucking floor without anesthetics? I mean, this is such an easy win. The numbers for animal testing as far as approval and disapproval, particularly around beagles, are so one-sided, they look like Kim Jong-un levels of one-sided. It's like a 95-5 issue, dude. This is such an easy layup. And the fact that you couldn't even bother to do this, but you could show up for your fundraising Women for Brad event, and you could show up to pretend you give a crap about veterans, even though you never speak up about veterans giving humanitarian aid or stuff like that, or the veterans who were with us taking tear gas and rubber bullets to try and save those dogs. But no, you don't have anything to say because you have no sense of morality. The problem is nature abhors a vacuum, and right now in the 10th congressional district, there is a complete black hole of morality in our representation. Folks, this dude needs to go. I have had it with people gaslighting me that he's a good person. He's a terrible, evil person. He is fucking evil. He supports the bombing of children. He decided to not vote to release congressional records about them literally fucking assaulting women and harassing them. This dude has funders who are in the Epstein files. This dude has donors in common with People's Ballroom fiasco. This dude is just ingratiated with every single evil industry that I could possibly find. This guy cannot, for the life of him, get a moral backbone, get moral clarity, or just morals at all, quite frankly. Guys, people, I don't care if a fucking rock runs for this seat at this point. I will take literally anybody over Brad Schneider at this point. Literally anybody. And go ahead and test me. Go ahead and shout out all the Republicans that you think are so bad and so evil. I will take them over him because at the very least, they have a decent chance of signing on to this. People who I think are terrible and evil on so many other issues have constantly and consistently proven to be helpful on this front. You're looking at Laura Trump, who was part of the reason that we were able to get the dogs out in the first place. You're looking at Tommy Lauren, who actually used her public platform to talk about the dogs in the first place. You're looking at Nicole Maliotakis, someone who I genuinely despise for betraying the Greek people based on her support for Israel, knowing that Israel's bombed St. Buphidius. And even she decided to help us with Ridgeline. Come on, dude. You are so pathetic. You need to resign now. This is no longer a point of conversation about trying to persuade you to do the right thing. Just resign. You're a loser and you're an immoral fraud. Just resign. I'm so sick of you, and I'm so sick of your supporters that are constantly trying to gaslight people that you're a good person. You're evil, dude. I hate you. And that's why I'm always going to oppose you for the rest of my existence. You evil bastard. Screw you. You will always face opposition so long as I fucking breathe, dude. You're evil as hell. Go to hell.